Hello everybody, Tracy Brown here. Hope you're doing really well. I am recording just a little bit earlier than usual, so I apologize to all those who usually see me live. I had to go a little earlier than usual, so I'm glad you're with me. And if this is evening time, then it's evening time, no problem, but usually I do these in the morning. I want to do a quick little encouragement video, but some people are up early. Hi Debbie. Hey Lydia. Some people are early and watching this, so that's great. I want to talk about, I don't use this word very much, the word triggered, but I'm going to use it today because I was thinking there's a difference between being out in the world, in our diet culture world, and being annoyed or frustrated versus triggered. And so maybe you all saw my post yesterday about the cauliflower thing and replace your rice or noodles with cauliflower and it's so much healthier. You saw that post I did because I'd explained to my daughter what all that meant. So anyway, you might have seen that, and now I was curious responses, and I think most people are like, yeah, I mean, it stinks, and there are a few people I could tell, like, kind of struggle with it a bit, so that's why I want to talk about it. So I had a response to seeing that sign. I saw that, I'm like, ugh. Literally my response when I sat down at the table and I was reading it before my daughter read it was like, and children, they see and notice everything. And I read it, she was slurping down her noodles, and I think probably she was really hungry at the beginning, so she didn't notice the sign. And as she got closer to getting more full, the food wasn't quite as much the focal point of our little time together there with the food and being together. And she started looking around and read the sign, and then that's this conversation. But I certainly, so she didn't have a flinch about it or a frustration. She just had curiosity because she doesn't have shame experiences or having to unlearn diet culture stuff to make her be annoyed by the sign. It was just, here's a piece of information. All of us are excavating all that to where we can see a sign like that. And the only reason I had like feeling is because my daughter was with me. If it had just been me, I wouldn't even felt that much charge. I'd been like, yeah, this diet culture stuff. Okay, going back to my food. I may have thought like, yeah, this is probably going to be impacting people. Some people are going to make decisions. Some people are going to feel shamed by this sign. Some people are going to blow it off and think it's dumb. Some people maybe are going to wonder if that tastes good. There's all kinds of responses we can have to things. And that's what I'm hoping for you all, is to be able to like one day, instead of the idea of knowing your weight freaking you out, it's like, yeah, okay, it's like the sky is blue. Now that's not everybody's goal. I mean, I don't personally know what I weigh. Most of my clients don't know what they weigh, and that's not a bad thing because we don't need that information. We don't. But I also, on the other side of it, if we happen to know, we want to get to the place where it's not triggering. It's just a piece of information. And so how do we do that? That's just one example. Or, how do we see those calories on everything? You can't go to any restaurant and not see that stuff. And again, some people make decisions about what they are going to eat based on it versus what their body needs. And so how do we do that? It's remembering that now, because you have awareness, you can step out of the game and play a new game. The paradigm is like, you got to worry about food, you got to watch everything, you got to do it right. And if you do it right, you are successful. And if you do it wrong, you're a failure. And so much of our worth is tied up around that paradigm. So how do we get out of being triggered? It's keep pushing and pulling and tending to the parts that get scared, they get triggered, they get whatever. And what you'll find is eventually things just don't, they might annoy you. They might think that's, oh gosh, I feel so bad for that person, that they feel like they have to like not eat something when they're hungry. Feelings normal. Opinion, thoughts, the feelings, all that stuff normal. But having this very visceral, I'm not safe, shame spiral response, not normal. But it's most of our experiences, and that's what we want. That's what we're here to work on, is keep working on those. When you feel that flinch, when you feel yourself wanting to shut down, when you feel yourself get like out into the stratosphere, when you see something, you hear something, somebody says something, and you're immediately looking for like, how can I shrink, or how can I not eat, or how can I get out of here? That kind of response that's what we want to work with. And that's the part of you that hasn't yet gotten out of the paradigm, to unhook your food from, and how you behave with food and being safe. So I hope this makes sense. Because a lot of times, simple words like, simple words like carbs, or going to the doctor, or eating enough or too much or whatever, are very much tied to past things. And what we want to do is, when we have those thoughts and feelings, is, okay, I felt that, and how old is that? What's going on? How true is it that I actually ate enough? And here's another thing: if you're still on your intuitive eating journey, it's like, if you have those thoughts, you're going to be able to, like, well, how true is it that I ate too much? And what do my signals tell me? And if I don't have accurate signals yet, that probably means I need to be following something that provides me some containment. I'm not there yet. So anyway, because a lot of those feelings and thoughts may not necessarily be accurate, or, I mean, they're real and it's the truth, but it's not the truth, which is, am I actually eating too much? Is it true that, like, I ate the wrong thing? What will it mean about me if I go to the doctor and they don't say anything about weight? If they do say something about my weight, what does that actually mean about me, and anything they know about my health status since, like, utero to this point? The answer is probably not very much, and we have to trust our truth, that we know a lot more about our experiences and what our needs are than anybody else. So that's how we learn not to get triggered. And it's a time plus compassion plus support plus presence process. So it's just not like I'm going to say don't get triggered and you're not going to. Of course, you might feel that in your body. You might have thoughts. But using that process, you're going to be able over time to just like, yeah, I used to do that. I'm so glad that I'm not in it anymore. I'm so glad that, like, yeah, I eat more than most people maybe around me because they're dieting, or maybe that's just how they eat, and, like, there's nothing wrong with me or what I'm doing, and it's not too much. So, all right, y'all. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care.